Hey guys, thanks so much for being on our hangout tonight. I'm flying solo on this end because Julie is right over there in the living room, and she has two Facebook parties that are going on right now that she's in the middle of helping answer questions. And we have seen some great results. I just wanted to say, give us some huge shout outs tonight. We're not going to be long, but I know Lyndall and your team is rocking and rolling. You actually have gone over silver this month in your recruitment. Is that correct? Silver plus one so far.
Silver plus one so far for myself as well as my mom. And my sister has gone silver for the month.
And your sister has gone silver for the month also. So, and you've actually added 17 people to your team this month, and that's fabulous. What do you attest all of that to?
It is literally these Facebook parties. I mean, they are rocking it. I would have to say, on average, we get at least 2 signups per party, at least 2, on top of some customers. Some parties have had 3, some parties have had 4. All 4 of my moms were from her party.
Man, that's great. That's great. Hey, somebody just messaged and asked
for
a link.
I'm putting it in there.
Thank you. So that's awesome. So you're seeing the success of your party, and I think that's caught fire because we have several of our team members in other areas that are doing the exact same thing. When Julie and I did ours, I think we were last weekend, we signed a new ambassador, and each of us got a new preferred customer out of it. So it is a great way to branch out and to get new people on your team.
And I say that, I think too that the consistent posting that we have done since the beginning of the year, my team has made an absolute effort to do posting every day, and then to get them into the party where they can actually have one-on-one time with us and see it better. I think those 2 things combined are what it's about.
Yeah, that's great. I also have seen a lot of people talking about doing sip and sees, local sip and sees where there's 3 or 4 or 5 people together, small, and they're seeing great results with that. So tonight, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to you guys. I know Shauna's gotten a couple people. Sammy's team, Susan and Sammy's team in Lynchburg is rocking and rolling, and they're on fire. Kim Keys is on fire, and there's just so many people that are doing great, and I'm just so happy to see the excitement and the growth. I think, Lyndall, and you put it in terms last week, it was like when we began Plexus.
Yeah, again, absolutely. I feel as excited as I did that first year in Plexus. It's that fun again. It's that, fire.
That's right. That's right. And tonight we're going to be talking about, there's a couple things that I want to briefly touch on as we go on for the evening. I have been reading this book, Real Leadership, 9 Simple Practices for Leading and Living with Purpose. John Addison is going to be speaking at convention. I'm excited about hearing from him. But this is a book that actually Eric Worre had posted something about it, and then one of our team members, Shauna, had sent us a private message and asked if we had seen it also, and I had not. So I ordered the book, and it is a fabulous book. This guy was with Primerica, former CEO and CEO of Primerica, and there's just so many nuggets of information in this book. I know Plexus, I heard, was sending this out to senior rubies and above also. We haven't gotten that, but when we do, we'll be able to let people look at this book also. But I want to just touch on a couple things that he mentions in this book. We're not going to be long tonight, but I want to give you just some nuggets of truth that he said. Practice number 1, he talks about deciding who you are. He said having goals and big dreams is important, but there's something even more important. It's something that comes first, deciding what kind of person you are. Even before you know exactly what you want to do, you can decide who you want to be and live your life accordingly. Then he breaks it down. He said, decide what you want to believe and who you are in the process of becoming. Okay. I think that all of us need to realize who we're becoming. You know, I am becoming that senior ruby. I'm becoming that emerald. I'm becoming that diamond leader in plexus. And I see that in our downline. I see a fire that's going, and I see, you know, I see Lindolyn as a diamond, and I see different team members that we have across the board. See where you are and look to where you're going. Ultimately, what kind of person you want to be, to turn out to be, is your decision. You make that decision of who or how you want to turn out. Secondly, look for the best in people and do what you can to bring out that in them. Then you have to look for the good in yourself too. Focus on bringing those qualities out in yourself. So you need to look for the best in people, help bring that out. But then as you're bringing that out, bring those qualities out in you. Number 3, he says, keep moving forward. Wake up every day and aim to be better than yesterday. That is so vital, and that is so very important in this business. It's just one more step of where I was yesterday. I'm taking that step higher. Be willing to improve a little at a time. We're not asking you to take giant steps. We're asking you to take baby steps. Anybody out here ever seen What About Bob? The movie About Bob, and he says death therapy, and he's talking about taking baby steps, you know. So it's you got to move a little bit at a time. Incremental improvements takes patience, persistence, and faith, but the payoff is more than worth it. And then he says, whatever issue you're facing, deal with it today. Don't wait. The only things problems do with age is get worse. Let the future take care of itself. Focus on wrestling the alligator that's in front of you. Life turns on the smallest of decisions, and you never know which will prove to be the most significant. So those are what he said, and decide who you are. But what I really wanted to look at was this right here, was focus on what you can control. This is another practice that he said, and I'm going to read just a couple different areas here. He talks about lighting a fire within people, not lighting a fire under people. This is a great thought. He said, too often leaders think they can get results by lighting a fire under people. He says that rarely works. When it does work, it doesn't last for long. If you want real results, you have to light a fire within people. Instead of trying to focus on what you want them to do, you have to focus them on why they want to do it. Let me read that part again. Instead of trying to focus them on what you want them to do, you have to focus them on why they want to do it. You have to know your why in the business. It's very vital. Okay, here we go. Focus on what you can control. As the leader, you have to be the most focused person on the team. There's some things you can control, and there's some things that you can't. The secret to making any business work is to figure out where you have the most tangible influence, and then focus everything on those things, and that will move your business forward. What you focus on grows. Lindolyn, very true. You have seen that these Facebook parties work for your team, right?
Absolutely.
Influence, and you're interested in them. You got your teams on them. You got new people signing up. Those people are starting to do parties or do online events, and you've seen it grow. So what you focus on grows. There's 4 points under this. Number 1, a real leader knows what the greatest challenge comes from within. Be brutally honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what are my weaknesses and potential pitfalls? The more aware you are, the better position you are not to let this challenge get in the way. So in this area of our challenges with us personally, I have to know what my weakness is. And you have to know what your weakness is. And it could be a myriad of different things. But know what your weakness is. Work on that weakness and see yourself grow. Number 2, treat your predecessors with respect and give them the benefit of the doubt. It can be tempting to badmouth the leadership that came before you, but doing so will only weaken your own leadership. Focus on what you need to do, not on what your predecessor did. Take the best of what came before and focus on what you need to do to build for the future. Well, this is doesn't really talk towards network marketing right here, but you can make it work for yourself. Take the best of what came before you and see what these people are doing, work it in your business, and build for the future. Number 3, you can't change human nature. You can't change your customers, your employees, or anyone else. All you can change is what you do. There are things you can influence, and there's things that you can't. So why waste energy on trying to change things that you can't? Now, what do we mean by that? We all know that in this business, we have people that quit focusing on their business. And we have people on the team that I don't want to really use the term dead weight, but I'm going to use it in this circumstance. We have people that are not pulling their share of the business. I know for a fact that, you know, the person that recruited me, that's above me, has someone between us and her that is actually that person that's not pulling their weight in the business, and it hinders the effect of their business growing. So I don't want you to be that person that's kind of creates that dam of growth for people that are underneath you, for your upline also. So it's very important that you work and that you do things that you can to help your business grow. But if there's people in your downline that are not going to work the business, or that have just, you've poured into them until you can't pour anymore, you know what you have to do? You just have to go around them, find somebody else to recruit, find somebody else that you can build and help build your team. That's just the way that it is. And then the 4th thing here is, you won't get real results trying to light a fire under people. You need to light a fire within them. Rather than trying to focus on them, on what you want them to do, focus on them, why they want to do it. A manager tells people what to do, and a leader helps people find why they're doing it. Great thought. A manager tells people what to do, and the leader helps people find why they're doing it. Now, listen to this. He says this. Here's your action step for focus on what you can control. In your present situation, your business organization, your career, list those things that factors influencing growth that you can control. So in other words, make a list of things that you can control. I can control my attitude. I can control what I post on Facebook. I can control who I contact on my team, or who I encourage on my team. So write those things down, who I can control, and then write down the things that you can't control. Among those you can, choose one thing which you think is most important. In other words, he says, find your rudder. Now let me focus on that for just 1 second, and then we're going to close it out for tonight. He says about finding your rudder in your organization. He says, forget about the complexity for a moment. As a leader, it's your job to get your head above the weeds. Look around you and see the big picture. And then he goes on and he says this. The thing you're looking for in your life is like a ship's rudder. There are 2 things about the rudder that makes it important. The first is that it determines which way the ship goes. The second is equally important to the first, is that you can control it. Get this. You can't control the ocean. You can't control the weather or the season or the tides, but you can control the rudder. Now, Lindalyn, your family had a fishing business for years and years, right?
Yes.
They had a fishing business. Granddad?
Yeah, my dad. Well, it even went back further than that, but those are the ones I knew was back to my grandfather.
So those guys, when they went out in the boat, they knew where they were going, right?
Yes, without GPS.
Without GPS, they knew where they were going. They knew that they couldn't control the weather, they couldn't control the tide, and they definitely couldn't control the ocean, what the ocean was going to do. But they knew how to control the rudder.
Absolutely.
They knew how to control the rudder because the rudder got them exactly where they're going. Now, I remember before your dad went to heaven, I remember your dad took me fishing, okay?
Yep.
Took me and the preacher fishing. Tony, I think, was with us. I don't know. I don't remember if JR was with us or not, but he took us out into the middle of nowhere, okay, nowhere land. And he made me drop my fishing line to the deepest part, I think, of the Gulf of Mexico on purpose. I think he did it on purpose because I thought, I think he wanted to see if I could do it. Reel that thing up, But he knew where fish were. He knew how to find fish. So in his mind, Sonny Parrish knew what his focus was. He knew where to go where the fish was. He knew how to get the boat there. And when he got the boat there, he said, drop the line because there's fish. And you know what? There's fish. The same thing happens in our business. We can't control certain things, but if we can get a hold of that rudder and know the direction that we set ourselves for the ship and get it to go, and then once we know where the ship's headed, we can control that rudder, your business changes. When you're looking to figure out where you put your focus, remember those two things. What is the key factor of factors? Determine what direction this thing is headed in, and are you in your sphere of control? Once you find the rudder, you have to put your hand on it, and you have to keep it there. Guys, I'm just challenging you. My challenge tonight is find the rudder for your life. Find the rudder for your business. Focus on what you can control. When you get a hold of that rudder, steer that boat in the direction. I saw several people, but most recently it was my brother-in-law posted, a ship was not made for harbor. A ship was made to sail. And that's very true. Our businesses are designed to help us sell, to get out there. And I'm not talking about sell product. I'm talking about sell and grow and go. And I just want to encourage you this week to do your best and encourage someone else in your business. It may be time for you to reach out to somebody in your downline that maybe has quit the business. In the last month, I've added back at least 3 level 1s that have been inactive. And you know what? They came back to us. Julie's done the same thing on her team, on her side, and brought people back in that have you done the same thing?
Oh yeah. I used the 15% off as bait to get them back, and it worked.
Right. So, reach out to somebody different this week. Get a hold of set your sail, get a hold of that rudder, know where your ship's going. Now listen, remember, you can't control the ocean. We've had since October a lot of difficulty in Plexus, and Plexus just sent out a fabulous letter stating that they know that there's been a lot of people in the business that has been hurt, but they've also set out goals and ways that they're going to overcome this, and they set out deadlines of what they're going to do. They have got a hold of the rudder, and they are going in a certain direction, and they're working on it, and they can control it. They're doing their best to control it. They're putting measures into place to help our businesses the way that it needs to be. And, we can't do anything about the past, but you know what? A lot of you guys are blowing and going, and you had problems in the past, but your businesses are doing great. Just keep the focus up, keep going forward, and let's see. Lindalyn, you can't add 4 people to your team by just sitting on the sideline, can you?
Absolutely not. You got to be
your personal team. I'm not talking about 17. I'm talking about your personal team. You have to consistently contact people. You have to consistently share. You know, I have a person. I have two people that I'm working right now. That one's a customer and one's a level 1 ambassador that I'm trying to get back on. Both of them have reached out to me and, you know, asked for help, and they still haven't quite come through yet. But you know what? I'm not giving up on them. I'm continuing to work them because I know what this one person wants to do for her health, and I know how Plexus will help her. So I'm continuing to. I mean, this is a person that I went to high school with, you know, years ago.
Hey, let me just tell you, you know, everybody pretty much knows the story that it took my sister 3 years to finally get on board with us. And she, you know, now laughs about it and goes, what in the world was I thinking? But at the same time, my cousin just signed up under her. He's been watching us just as longer now, and came in to her to get his taxes done, and saw her display sitting there, asked her about it, signed up, but he just wanted to buy the product at the best price. He started posting over the weekend.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You never know. You never know. I saw one of you guys' team members that I know that is in the church, and she just posted that she's lost 5 pounds and 3 inches. And I saw somebody right underneath it say, hey, I want to know what you're doing.
Her party is this week.
Sometimes that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And, you know, just let people know, let people know that you're in business and that you're getting ready to do something. I know I want to give a huge shout out to Brad and Nancy. Brad and Nancy did an event this weekend, a Plexus event. You guys did an event this weekend also, so that's awesome. You guys are getting the word out about Plexus, and you know it's awesome to do that. So go Plexus. Do you have anything else you want to add, Linda Lynn?
No, I don't think so.
So if you have the opportunity to get this book, I would suggest that you do it because it is a fabulous, fabulous read, and I think you can glean a lot. And for those of us who are going to convention, I hope that several of our team members are, but for those of us who are going to convention, I know that you're going to be able to glean a lot of information out of this book, and I'm excited about that. Let's pray, and then we'll close. Father, thank you for the opportunity that we have to share Plexus in our business, and Lord, I'm so thankful for our team members that across the country that are doing great with their businesses now. I pray that you'd bless them. Lord, I pray that you continue to help them, help their businesses to grow. Lord, this month already, we have far surpassed where we were last month in our business, and we still have 6 days left. I pray that you'd help us to finish the month strong. Lord, as we finish April strong, help us to go into May. Help May to be a strong month for us also. Lord, I pray that you just help us to bring people into our path. Lord, help us to open our mouths and share about the product. And I pray that you continue to put your hand of blessing upon us. Lord, there's Facebook parties that are going on right now. There's several Facebook parties that are going to be happening this week. I pray that you would just bless each of those events. Lord, put those people on those events that need to be there. And I pray that we would see some new additions to our team this week, Lord, because of people sharing Plexus. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, thank you so much for being on. It was a beautiful day in lovely Pensacola, and I hope where you live, it was beautiful. I know up north, it's still been a little chilly, but hey, spring is coming for you guys. Even if it's a little late, spring is coming, or summer's coming at least. So maybe by summer you'll have a little spring weather. But thank you guys for being on. Remember, convention is just 6 weeks away, maybe? Is it that close?
Probably. I haven't counted it down.
About 6 weeks away, maybe 7 weeks. So, you know, if you haven't signed up for convention and you want to go, you have to get on a waiting list now. And if people drop off, they'll add you to the list. So take advantage of that if you can. Okay. Good night, you guys. Have a good evening. Good night from Pensacola.
Bye, y'all.